when you're an entrepreneur and when you're in business and when you're trying to make your way, there's going to be a lot of unexpected twists and turns and surprises. One of which is working on a project for 3 months and then the client deciding to pull out and not pay you. Screaming! There is my sleeping situation. Oh! You got that? You got that?
Yeah, I did get that.
In 2009, when the economy crashed, Silva crashed with it. I got laid off of my job in Detroit, and after a series of events, I ended up here in Florida.
Oh my God, I am. Oh my God, oh my God, yo.
I packed up my bags. I put what I thought I would need for like the next 6 months and drove down here. Things were a little bit shaky. I didn't have enough money for a place, and I refused to move back home. So I was hopping around from hostel to hostel, and there's of course a limited number of days you can stay at a hostel. And I was just hustling, trying to work on projects and trying to save enough for a first and last and a security deposit. I woke up at 6 this morning. I worked on my stuff for a few hours, and then I went to a job that I have that is administrative, that I do for someone else because I need some extra money and extra income in order to make ends meet and in order to sort of reinvest in my business. And then I came to my full-time job as a reporter at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I am just now gonna go home, and it's Friday. So I finally got called to go work at CBS, and the first few months on CBS I was still like kind of floating around while I was trying to figure it out. So, make a long story short, I eventually moved into this building right here, and had a place to shower and a place to sleep, and I loved living here. Like, people would ask me, you know, how are you living on Miami Beach? And I would always say, if you're willing to do what I did to get here, then anybody can live on Miami Beach. When you are trying to scale your business, you're gonna find that you're spending a lot of time investing money back into your business, which means you have to get really creative with resources. In my case, I sold my car, and I find every shortcut and every free resource I could possibly find, and one of the best ones is Capital One, right here on Lincoln Road. They have a great working area for entrepreneurs. They've got free Wi-Fi, and get this, with a Capital One card, you can either get 50% off your drinks, and if you come between 4 and 6, your drinks are free. It's, you know, it all comes down to how badly do you want it, how important is it to you, and what are you willing to do for it. And here we are. I want it bad enough, so much so that that I am juggling about a dozen things at the same time, in such a hurry that I banged my leg against the bed in that chaos of trying to get out the house. Anyway, we'll make it through. We'll make it through. So, I've done this before. I have been in a place where you have to take stock of your life and review your happiness. You know, if you want something different for your life, you have to be willing to do something different. And this is, you know, you think this happens in your 20s, but I'm in my 40s and I'm still doing it. I think that's where most people have a hard time. A lot of people know that they're not happy. A lot of people know that they're not in a place that they want to be, but they have a hard time taking ownership of it, because once you take ownership of that, then you have nothing to complain about. You know, I've been changing a lot of things, including, you know, I've told you I've left my job, and so this is not the first time I've jumped off the cliff. You know, I got laid off, but then I had choices. Do I just lay around and mope around and be the victim of how I was wronged and it shouldn't have happened? Or do I take this opportunity to find my happiness and do the thing that I've always wanted to do, which was live in Florida? You know, it was a choice I made to pack my bags and drive here with no plan and no job and but, you know, that's like taking control of your life and taking control of the circumstances you're in, and trusting and believing that you will figure it out, and trusting and believing in the fact that because you are pursuing your happiness, doors will open in ways and places that you never imagined. There are moments like today where I am reminded why it is so incredibly important to be aligned with your purpose and be authentic about what you're doing, right? In the time that it took me to drive home from my meeting, I already got an email, one of the biggest potential sponsors for these episodes that I've been putting together, and it's just one of those wins that really reconfirms the philosophy and thought process behind all of it and encourages me. I had a vision and I had this big picture in my head, and that's all I kept thinking about, and that's all I kept thinking about, and I thought if I just put one foot in front of the other, it will work out.
Sometimes it's worth waiting for things that feel right and not settling. Sometimes, most times, even I dare say almost always, it is worth waiting for the thing that feels right.
It's been difficult, but here we are. Jumping off of a cliff again. What the fuck?